red capsicum here. I tell you what, the Polish, they love their red capsicum. Another thing they love is their pickles. They pickle just about everything. And I love pickles, especially with meat. Just straight through here like this. Nice thin strips here, because once again, I'm going to cut a very fine dice, or brunoise as sometimes we call it in the kitchen. But down here, we can call it whatever we want. I'll call it a dice. And this will give it a lovely bit of colour, a little bit of freshness, and just a little bit of bite as well. Straight into my bowl here like that. And just to give it something, you know, a little bit different, I've got some olives here. This will give it a bit of saltiness as well and help to sort of season it. I like using olives, and these are Kalamata olives, which are Greek olives. Now, I know the Polish might get a little bit upset using Greek olives, but it's just my little twist to it. You know, I could use green olives, or I could even use those olives with the little peppers through the middle of it. But I like to save them for my martinis. And into the bowl. Just be careful, if you do come across an olive with a pip in it, it will dent the blade of your knife. So make sure you just peel that off, and the pip goes in the bin. See you later. Now, I've got some parsley. Some nice fresh parsley, just tear that off there. And some dill. I love using dill. It's so fresh, it's so nice. It's got a sort of aniseedy flavour, and it'll go beautifully with the cabbage. And all I do is just cut through here like this. A fairly rough chop the first time. You can smell the parsley and the dill together work really, really well. A couple of little chops there. You can see I've left a bit of stem on there. The stem on both of these herbs is so soft that it'll just fall apart once this starts cooking. Into the bowl it goes. Now I'll bring the bowl over here and show you what else I add. I've got some mustard, some powdered mustard. A nice little pinch of that goes in there. I've got some breadcrumbs, probably about half a cup, but I can add some more if I need to, just to help bind it together. You don't have to have breadcrumbs in there if you want, it's up to you. Some mustard, I've got about a tablespoon of mustard goes in there. Oh, Dijon mustard, beautiful. And some white pepper, a nice sprinkle of white pepper, probably a good tablespoon and a half. Some salt in there to give it some flavour, and of course some garlic. I've got my microplane here, and I'm just going to give it a rough grate like this, so I get all these chunks of garlic will go through it. Oh, look at that. And then with my knife, I pick it up, straight into there like that. This is the fun part, getting your hand in here and mixing it all together. You could put it in a process if you don't want to get your hands dirty, but really this is the fun part. Getting your hands in there and making sure you mix it all through here thoroughly. You know, you don't want to do it for too long, you don't want to warm the meat up, you want to have it nice and cool, but a good 30 seconds to a minute in here will make sure this is all mixed through nice and beautifully. And as you're mixing it, you can smell it. Your nose is the most important sense you've got, and you can actually smell how good this is. You can smell all those flavours coming together. That smells fantastic. This is going to go beautifully in my cabbage. So I'm just going to pop that there like that. Pop the lid. Let's have a little look at this. The cabbage is cooked. Now, the trick is with this is just cooking the outside. You can feel with a fork that the outer layers are cooked. Try and get as much water as you can off this, because the water creates steam, and steam is very hot. And there's nothing nastier than a steam burn. There we go. You can see I've already lined my bowl with muslin. You could use a tea towel if you want, but muslin's perfect for me. Now, this is the trick. Just with a knife, I'd cut around the outside here, all the way around. And what I want to do is free up the outer leaves that are already blanched, and I'll just peel them back a little bit deeper. If you don't want to get steam burn, pop your fork in like that, and you just go around like this. Easy as that, isn't it? Now just peel back these outer leaves. This is a bit hot. In goes the fork, and out comes the uncooked cabbage. And left behind in there is perfect. I've got a nice little cavity ready for my stuffing. Some of these outer leaves I'll get rid of here. Now my stuffing goes into the centre, and what I'll do is just pack this together and push it all the way into the bottom. You could let it cool down a little bit, but you know me, I'm so impatient. I want to eat. This takes a little while to steam, so I want to get it back into the pot and steaming as soon as I can. Look at this, the perfect amount of stuffing here. And make sure I get every single bit out of the bowl. Give a bit of a squeeze like that, because you want to bring that together. And then with my muslin cloth or your tea towel, whatever it is, bring it up and make it nice and firm. You don't want this to come apart while you cook it. And just give that a bit of a squeeze and a turn like that. And I'll just tip off that water. Look at that. I'll just turn that around. That is quite warm, but I'll just twist that like that. A little bit of string here around the outside just to hold that together. all the way through there and just tie it in a knot. Another one there to secure it. And I've got my cabbage roll ready to cook. Now in here I've got some cabbage water. If you're ever making soup, vegetable soup, or you need a stock, there's a great start. It tastes a lot like cabbage, but as a good base to whatever you're cooking, there's no problem with it at all. There's my pot there, and you can see I've got a tea towel in the bottom to stop the bowl from rattling away. It goes into the bottom of the pot here, and what I do with my kettle, I'll pour a little bit of water down the side here, just a little bit up the side of the bowl there like that. Turn on the heat. This will take about 20 to 30 minutes to cook. I'll know because I'll put my little digital thermometer into the centre, and when it gets to 68, 72 degrees Celsius, I know my meat's cooked and I just need to take it out. On goes the lid, and there we wait. You can smell the steam coming off that. It smells like cabbage. It smells like meat. Oh, it is hot. And it comes. Just carefully pop that onto my board there like that. That is hot for me, so do be careful. Maybe a pair of tongs or some oven mitts or something like that. You'll never see me wearing oven mitts anyway. Take the string off there and peel down. Oh, and very carefully, I'm just going to pick that up. Oh, I'll just do it this way. Pick that up and pop that onto my plate like that. Look at that. It looks like a cabbage. It looks like a vegetable. You can tell people, I'm just going to have a piece of cabbage for my dinner. But as we cut into it, cut all the way through the middle here so you can see it. Look at that. That stuffing, that filling, that layer of cabbage around the outside to hold it all together. It couldn't get better than that. I'll just cut a small slice of it here, just to start with. What a lovely little entree. Very pretty, isn't it? Little taste. I've got all my filling in there, my cabbage, nicely steamed. I'll tell you what, moist and taste is what it is. That cabbage around the outside, the steam, it almost puts more moisture in there. So it's full of juices, it's very flavoursome, and the cabbage is great. Instead of having one tiny little cabbage roll, why not make a big one?